Hi everyone, Chef Sarah here with the Sylvia Center. We're a nonprofit specializing in providing food and nutrition education in New York and Columbia County. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do, and that way you can get more videos like this one. Today we are going to talk about pancakes made from legumes. So we are making a dish called Farinata. This is a chickpea pancake or chickpea crepe that comes from Italy. So let me wash my hands and we'll get started. Okay, so I am back. We are going to make these chickpea crepes, and in this bowl I have chickpea flour. So this is either called garbanzo bean flour or chickpea flour, and this is just made up of grinding down dried chickpeas. Chickpeas are really, really great for you because they are low in fat. They are cholesterol free and they are high in protein. This is also a gluten-free dish because we are using no flour. We're only using this chickpea flour. When you hear the word legumes, that usually refers to different types of beans, chickpeas, or lentils. And they are super, super good for you because they pack in all that protein. Okay, so in this bowl I have our chickpea flour. And I'm actually just going to add equal parts of water to the flour. And I'm just going to mix that together. This is going to be sort of a loose batter. If it's too loose, you might need to add a little bit more of the chickpea flour. Okay, I'm also going to add a pinch of salt, a little bit of pepper, and just a tiny little splash of olive oil. Okay, I'm gonna give that one more really good whisk, just to make sure that everything is incorporated. And this is super easy because it is so few ingredients. Okay, you can see that's nice and smooth. There are no lumps remaining. And I'm gonna set this aside and let this rest for about 30 minutes to an hour. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so this has been resting. I've had this rest for about 45 minutes, and I have my grill pan nice and hot here. You could actually do this a couple different ways. You could make this in a saute pan on the stove. It's actually a lot of times made in the oven as well, and a cast iron is one of the most traditional ways to make this. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of olive oil to my pan. Not too much, since this is non-stick. I really do not need much at all. And I'm going to make sure this is warm. If you were making this in a pan on the stove, you would need a little bit more olive oil, especially if it's not a non-stick pan. Okay, so now that this is nice and hot, I'm going to take a scoopful of my batter. And we want these to be pretty large. I know the last couple weeks I made smaller pancakes. We want these to be large enough that we can cut them into wedges. So I'm going to make these really nice and big. Okay, so I'm going to let those cook until they are nice and golden brown, and then I'm going to flip them over. Okay, these are getting nice and steamy. Little bubbles are forming, and I think it's time to flip them. Okay, so I just flipped these. They are looking amazing. We're gonna let these go for about 2 more minutes, and then I'm gonna make a beautiful summer caprese salad. Okay, so I just picked tomatoes and basil out of my garden, and we're gonna work on our caprese salad. But first I'm going to tell you all the reasons that you should eat tomatoes. Tomatoes are so good for you. They are an excellent source of vitamin C and antioxidants, which is really great for helping to prevent cancer, other diseases. It'll help you keep a healthful blood pressure and a good level of blood pressure. The fiber, potassium, and vitamin C, they also support heart health, which is super important. Tomatoes help with your stomach, to keeping everything going as it should be going. Let's see. Tomatoes are also, they help with your eyes and your skin because of all those antioxidants. It's giving you everything you need to help with your eyesight. It's helping to build collagen, which is good for your skin, hair, nails. So in other words, eat all the tomatoes that you can possibly eat. They are so good for you. Okay. So right now, my larger tomatoes in my garden are not ready yet, but I have all these beautiful cherry and grape tomatoes. I have a couple sun gold tomatoes, which are these beautiful bright orange ones. So I'm going to use those in my caprese salad today, but you could definitely use larger tomatoes, whatever you might have around. So I am just going to cut these in half. You could cut them in quarters if you prefer. Okay. Also, it's really fun sometimes to get a bunch of different types of tomatoes. So if you have large tomatoes, small tomatoes, all different colors of tomatoes, makes a beautiful caprese salad. Okay. And my knife is a little dull, so I'm going to actually grab another one. Okay, let's see if this knife's better. Sometimes knives just don't want to cut through tomatoes. Yes, this one is much better. You can see it is not squishing the tomatoes, but it's cutting them beautifully. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure these are all cut. And then I'm going to add them to my bowl here. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I actually like a little bit of extra black pepper on there because I feel like it goes so well with those tomatoes. I'm going to give it just a little toss. I'm going to also do a quick little drizzle of olive oil. And today I'm using balsamic vinegar. You can use other vinegars. It's really traditional to use balsamic, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm going to do just a little splash. Alright, since I am using my hands, I'm going to give it one more toss. I'm actually going to go wash my hands off, and we'll be back to assemble everything. Okay, so I have all my tomatoes cut. I am going to add a couple of my basil leaves. I actually have two types of basil today. I have my traditional basil, and then I also have some of this beautiful purple basil. So I'm going to add a little bit of both. And I'm going to cut these what I like to call chiffonade. So chiffonade, let me move that out of the way. Chiffonade is, we're just going to roll these up. And then I'm going to take the knife through to make these beautiful little basil strands. I'm also going to leave one bunch whole to put on the top just to make it super beautiful. Okay. I'm not going to cut this super fine. I still want some of the bigger pieces because I really do like to taste the basil and see the basil inside of that salad. Okay. We're also going to cut, I have this fresh mozzarella. So caprese salad normally has fresh mozzarella. Sometimes I'll use smoked mozzarella, or if there's another type of cheese that you'd rather use. Sometimes you'll see caprese salad where it's slices of cheese like this and big slices of tomato. Since I did use the smaller tomatoes today, I'm going to just cut these into chunks. But if I was using larger tomatoes, I would probably do slices just to make everything very beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Okay, so I have everything ready to go. I have my basil and my tomatoes that I've been marinating. I have my fresh mozzarella. I have a little basil here for garnish. And I have my chickpea pancakes. I also have my plate that I'm going to plate everything on. So I just gave this a quick stir just to make sure all that balsamic, salt, and pepper, and basil is nice and incorporated. I'm going to cut these pancakes into wedges so that way they're really nice and easy for us to eat and to snack on. Just to make this really pretty, I'm going to set these on the plate just like this. All right, now that our tomatoes have been marinating, I'm going to go ahead and add my cheese in there. And just give that just a quick little mix. And then, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. And I'm going to put our basil garnish right on there just to make it so beautiful. Okay. So let's look at what we have here. This is a perfect, whoops, we lost a tomato there. Just put that back on top. So this is a perfect little snack, appetizer. You could add anything to this and make this a full meal. So once again, we have our Farinata, which is our chickpea pancake or chickpea crepe. We have our tomato, basil, mozzarella salad, our caprese salad that I use those fresh tomatoes from my garden. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat. This looks and smells fantastic. I hope that you will cook this at home because, as I was saying earlier, we should all eat so many tomatoes, especially right now when they're in season. Have a wonderful day, everyone. And once again, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get more videos like this one. Bye.